Opportunities to gain a competitive advantage through sustainable business practices are more attainable than you think. Partners in Project Green is a growing community of businesses working together to green their bottom line. Through new forms of business-to-business collaboration, Partners in Project Green delivers programming that helps businesses reduce energy and resource costs, uncover new business opportunities, and address everyday operational challenges in a green and cost-effective manner. For more information on how we can help your sustainability journey, visit www.partnersinprojectgreen.com. Welcome to the People Power Challenge Waste Reduction webinar. By participating in this webinar, you are demonstrating that you are up to the challenge and ready to take on waste reduction and diversion projects at home and at work. Thank you for being a sustainability champion. In order to address the issue, we need to understand the challenges that Canada and the world are facing with waste management. While there is a lack of data on the amount of waste generated by the ICI, that's the industrial, commercial, and institutional sector in Canada, it is estimated that each Canadian produces 2.2 kilograms of waste every single day. That translates to 803 kilograms of waste per year each. According to 2009 data from the World Bank, the Canadian population is 33,739,900 people. That adds up to over 27 billion kilograms of waste per year. And that's just residential waste. It doesn't include numbers from the more than 2.4 million businesses located in Canada. Waste from the ICI sector generally includes items similar to that in homes, such as paper, bottles, and organics, but also can include chemicals, significant amount of packaging, both cardboard and shrink wrap, and other wastes from processes and products. Much of this waste, both residential and commercial, ends up in landfills, and there are a few environmental, financial, and social consequences of this. Landfilled products and materials are lost as resources to create new products through recycling and upcycling, meaning that every time a company needs a resource to create any sort of product or package that product, it has to extract those resources from the ground and pay for them. A lot of land is required for landfills, which poses issues for nearby residents. Many of these landfills are located in low-income areas, causing undue stress to regions that are already taxed quite heavily. The land used for landfills is also lost to other purposes, such as farming, employment, or residential. If a landfill isn't managed properly, a liquid called leachate leaks from the landfills into the surrounding land and water and contaminates them with toxins. This leachate is very dangerous to humans and animals. Okay, so there's a problem. We create too much waste, and how we handle waste causes harmful impacts to people and the planet. Why should business care? Because there are significant operational efficiencies to be discovered through effective waste management. Too many businesses make the mistake of assuming waste disposal costs are fixed and just a part of doing business. This is false. There are ways to reduce operational costs associated with waste. Producing waste is a result of using materials inefficiently and costs your business money. These costs are twofold. You'll be wasting money on unused materials, and you also have to pay disposal costs. Reducing waste translates into reducing costs. Many waste streams can actually make you money. Revenues from the sale of recyclables can offset waste management costs. There can be a wide variety in the services provided by waste haulers and the costs associated. Make sure you're getting the most out of your waste management contract with a stringent procurement process. What would happen if you never had to pay for the material to make your product again? What if you could take materials that have already been extracted and paid for and continuously reuse them in your production loop? That's what global companies like Interface are doing, along with companies like Calstone right here in the GTA. The concept is known as cradle to cradle, and it refers to creating products that can be used, recycled, and used again without losing any material quality. In the case of Interface, this means that when their customers are finished with the carpet they bought, the carpet is returned to Interface and used as the material input for a brand new carpet. For Calstone, it means their customers return their industrial furniture products at no cost when repurchasing from the company, and Calstone ensures they never see a landfill, but are transformed into useful products at the end of their life. This model means that the company only has to pay for material resources once. The environmental and financial costs of extraction never have to be paid again. Not only does that make good business sense, it is the right thing to do for the environment. On the consumer side, they don't have to pay for disposal of unwanted items, and they too get to do the right thing. This model may not be feasible for every product right now, but this is the direction that industry is moving in. A good waste management plan diverts waste from landfill and cuts back on greenhouse gas emissions. The manufacture, distribution, and use of products, as well as the management of the resulting waste, all result in greenhouse gas emissions. Waste prevention and recycling reduce greenhouse gases associated with these activities by reducing methane emissions, saving energy, and increasing forest carbon sequestration. Waste management is an integral component of an integrated environmental management plan for your organization. It is an immediate and measurable way to improve the environmental performance of your building. Customers, employees, and potential investors are all becoming more aware of the environmental responsibility, and failure to take action could affect your business's reputation and profitability. The 3R regulations apply to non-hazardous solid waste from the ICI sector. There are 2 regulations applicable businesses must be in compliance with. Regulation 102/94 states that businesses that meet threshold size conduct waste audits to determine the amount, nature, and composition of wastes generated. The waste audit itself must go beyond merely sorting through waste and should outline how the wastes get produced and how management makes decisions related to the production of waste. The audit must result in the creation of a waste reduction work plan. This work plan outlines how a company intends to maintain and improve waste diversion. The work plan must include a timeline and measurable outcomes to reduce, reuse, and recycle wastes, as well as noting those responsible for its implementation. Regulation 103/94 deals with recycling programs. Depending on the sector type, different source separation programs need to be put in place to collect and recycle various wastes. The different requirements reflect the diverse type of wastes that various sectors could generate. A source separation program must include the provision of facilities for the collection, handling, and storage for anticipated quantities of source-separated wastes, measures to make sure that these wastes are collected and removed, and all reasonable efforts are made to ensure that full use is made of the program. To recap, there are many reasons for companies to strive towards effective waste management, including achieving operational and resource efficiencies, complying with government regulations, and being a responsible corporate citizen. But how exactly is that achieved? Start with reviewing your current waste management plan and identify recycling options for waste streams currently going to landfill. Many items that can be recycled, such as batteries or organic matter, are landfilled in the ICI sector. Many waste haulers will work with you to establish an organics recycling program, along with ensuring your other recycling streams, such as glass and paper, are being utilized to their full extent. Streams like batteries or electronics can also be recycled by doing a little research and finding recycling companies in your area that take those products. Other items that are not traditionally considered are old office supplies and furniture. These can often be donated to school boards who are constantly on the lookout for supplies. Check out the Creative Zone website or look for alternates in your area. Examine opportunities for other products as well. Can your old promotional materials be donated to a school? Can you find ways to replace disposable items with reusable solutions? Can your process output be used as an input for another company? Reviewing your waste management plan is really looking at waste with new eyes. Instead of asking how an item can be disposed of, ask if an item can be reused by someone in your organization, community, or neighboring business. Companies can also undertake reviews of office activities and make simple changes to reduce waste. Actions such as setting printers to default double-sided printing, removing bottled water, and eliminating single-serve items in your cafeteria can reduce waste generated. Educating employees on waste reduction in all aspects of their workday is an important component here. Again, it is really about examining your organization's behaviors and seeking to implement small changes that reduce your impact. On the product end, look to design product packaging so that it can be reused, and choose post-consumer recycled materials for packaging wherever possible. This looks down your supply chain and takes responsibility for wastes associated with product delivery and end use. This is also an excellent way to signal to your customers and consumers that your organization takes its commitment to the environment seriously, which can improve brand recognition and reputation. If you're not in charge of product packaging, talk to someone in that department and ask what can be done. It is also important to examine production processes to reduce inefficiencies. By taking a good look at how your product is made, you may be able to identify resource reduction measures. Here, the cost savings are twofold. You don't have to pay for unnecessary materials, and you don't have to pay for disposal costs. This one may take more time and consideration than other initiatives to reduce waste, but it also often has the biggest impact. Instituting a green procurement program that selects environmentally sustainable products and services works to reduce waste up the supply chain and stops wastes before it gets to you. Check out guides like the Commitment to Buy Green, Green Purchasing Guide on the Partners in Project Green website to find out more. There are a number of things each and every employee can do to help support effective waste management practices. In addition to working towards the reduction strategies mentioned previously, you can join your green team or start one if there isn't one already. Be a waste champion by identifying site-specific issues and working to rectify them. Submit your waste-reducing ideas to your green team, facilities department, or waste champion. Choose products with less packaging and include other environmental criteria when making purchasing decisions. Share your knowledge about the environmental, social, and financial implications of poor waste management with your friends and colleagues. And most importantly, lead by example. Make sure you are reducing your waste, reusing items wherever possible, and recycling everything that can be. Many strategies that work at the office will work at home too. As always, first work to reduce the amount of wastes generated. There are a number of ways to do this, and I'll make some suggestions, but you know best where you and your family can reduce the amount of waste created. Do a mini audit at home. Take a look at what's in the garbage and see where you can make small changes to reduce your waste. Some suggestions are to choose products with less packaging and choose products that have been produced locally. Photocopy and print on both sides of the page. Compost your kitchen and yard wastes. Buy cleaning supplies and food items in bulk to reduce packaging. And buy better to buy less. A product with a lower cost on the shelf may end up costing you more if you have to replace it when it breaks, not to mention it will clutter up a landfill. Second, look to reuse items wherever possible. Not only will this reduce waste, it may save you money. One way to remind you and your family to think before you throw something away is to post a sign above the garbage bin asking if the item about to be tossed could be used for anything else instead of cluttering up a landfill. Some suggestions for reusing items are using single-sided paper for scrap paper, keeping old shirts and pants for cleaning or painting clothes, keeping shirts and skirts that can be made into throw pillowcases, cutting up old towels to make great dishcloths, saving corks and paper towel rolls for great art supplies, and of course there are many other options. Get creative. The principle behind reusing is looking for new uses instead of throwing items away. This concept can be used for your purchases too. The next time you need to buy something, ask yourself 2 questions. Would a gently used option work for this? Is there a sustainable option available? And instead of throwing away old clothes, furniture, home decor, or other items, organize a clothing swaps for friends and family, hold a garage sale, or donate items to local second-hand shops. We all know the third one, recycle. Many items, from cardboard to glass, plastics to styrofoam, and many more, can be recycled today. Check your municipality for up-to-date lists of recyclable items and sort properly. You can also choose to purchase products that have recyclable packaging to reduce resource extraction for materials that are just going to end up in the recycling bin anyway. There's been a lot of ground covered in this webinar. By now, you should have a basic understanding of the environmental, social, and financial costs of mismanaged waste and understand the implications this has for business, including operational and resource efficiencies, complying with government regulations, and being a responsible corporate citizen. There have also been many strategies for waste reduction and diversion offered, both at home and at the office. The most important thing to understand is waste is just an unused resource. There is still value to be extracted from the 27 billion kilograms of garbage that Canadian residents produce every year, and the old saying, "It's not waste until you waste it," holds true. The only way to stop the waste of these resources is for every Canadian to look for ways, at home and at work, to lessen their impact. Many waste-reducing decisions are just common sense. Awareness is key. Now that you know what the problem is and how you can help, you can make the right decisions. I would like to thank you for taking the time to get informed about waste reduction and diversion. There are many resources available to help you on your path. The Ontario Ministry of the Environment has a great website on ICI waste reduction, and the Greening Greater Toronto Green Purchasing Guide and Document Hub can be accessed online at partnersinprojectgreen.com. Living Planet at Work has really great resources, including the Waste Guide and other tools. That's available at atwork.wwf.ca. Waste Reduction Week is a great environmental campaign to get involved with, and they have great resources on their website as well. The Recycling Council of Ontario also has great tips and tools at www.rco.on.ca. And The Story of Stuff is an excellent 20-minute fast-paced movie that documents the life cycle of our stuff. The video and great resources can be found at www.storyofstuff.com. I encourage you to take advantage of all the great resources out there. You have the ability to make a difference.